Brasil. Estoy? I'm not sure how to say it. JJ Johnson. And I'm coming to you from my kitchen. I was looking around my house for the best place to film, and I realized the kitchen is where the best conversations always happen, at least in my house. So hopefully that works for you. I'm so happy to say hello to you, and just very honored that my book has come out in Brazil. I love the cover. I got my Brazilian copies, and they make me so happy. I just love what you've done with the book, and I love my kit of nail polish. I even had a nail polish party with my friends, some champagne and some nail polish, and my fingers still have a little bit. I like the blue best. So thank you so much for that. I have not been to Brazil, but I would love to come to Brazil and visit. And I lived in Australia for a year and a half, so I remember very fondly the stars of the Southern Cross and the stars of the Southern Hemisphere, and I miss them. So I would love to see them again. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Durham, North Carolina. This is my kitchen. I live with my son, who is 9, and my husband, and my dog, who is sleeping on the couch right now and kind of looking at me like, what are you doing talking to your computer, you crazy lady? The book is not a true story, but it is based on the town where I grew up, and it does have some parts of it are based on my own experience. I grew up in upstate New York, which is very different than, it's not New York City. It's farm country with a lot of cows and a lot of dairy farms and a really small town of about 8,000 people. When I was 13, I had a friend who was very dear to me. She died, not in a really creepy way like happens in the book, but it was very unexpected, and it really affected me. And I think we don't give our young people enough credit for how thoughtful they are and how developed they are in terms of trying to come to terms with tragedy. And so I was really interested in exploring that. I really wanted there to be a difference between the book I wrote called This Girl is Different, where the main character is not at all sarcastic, is very, very idealistic, and just sees the best in everyone. And I wanted to contrast that with Sarah from this book, and how she is so sarcastic and just very cynical. And a lot of it is just her anger and her built-up frustration with people not understanding where she's coming from. And I also had a dog named Ruby, and I was thinking about all these things, and one day I came home and Ruby had left me a dead possum on my doorstep. And for some reason, that just clicked, click, 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 clicked. I don't know if you have tree farms in Brazil, but here in the US, in the cooler parts, so like in the mountains of North Carolina and in upstate New York, it's actually a fairly good living. People can basically have farms of evergreen trees, which they then sell at Christmas time. There have been people in my life who have taken the time to teach me how to build things, teach me how to do some real physical work, and I have found that to be super, super helpful for myself when I'm kind of stuck in a rut. And also, I just really wanted to think about how to explore something that this middle-class girl might never have experienced, which is a relationship with a kind of strange character and a lot of time outdoors, which I think can be very healing, and a relationship with her dog, because I've always had dogs and I love my dogs and they have helped me through so much. So those are kind of all the things that were coalescing. And like I said, I came home and Ruby had left a possum on my doorstep because she used to hunt. So just like Ruby in the book. And these things just kind of came together, and I knew that this was the book that I wanted to write. I can show you, right here. This is how I write my books. I write longhand. I have just like these artist journals. Basically, I get them at an art supply store. A lot of things just fell out. So, and I obviously collect just tons of stuff. And what I do is I write kind of in my head first, and then I write down on, these are index cards, you probably can't see them very well, but I write scenes on each index card, and then I go through and paste the index cards into a book, and then like fill in after that, you can see. And then I usually go ahead and after that, I type it into the computer, and so this is the page that I'm typing and editing, and these are notes that I'm making the whole time I'm typing so that I don't forget. So yeah, that's kind of my process, and then I have a writing group that I work with. They're also authors, and we give each other our books while we're working on them. So I take their advice very seriously. They're really smart and awesome. Then I do another draft on my computer at this point, and I work actually at this very counter right here on my computer, standing up because I got tired of sitting all day. So I stand up at my computer, and my doggy lies usually on my feet to keep my feet warm. And I do another draft, and then I send it to my editor here in the US, and we work on it together. I love the fact that there are people in other parts of the world reading my books. It's such an honor to me. It's such an honor. I can't believe it. I feel so lucky and blessed. I hope you will email me or friend me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or wherever you want. I'll put them on. I'll try to like do some computer magic and put all my information on at the end of this. But most places you can find me at JJ Johnson Author. And I just want to say thank you so much for reading. Forgive me, I'm going to try to say it in your language. Muito obrigado pela leitura? Was that so bad? It was probably terrible. But I want to say thank you and goodbye. Adios por enquanto. Goodbye for now. Mwah.